Dash up, level 2.
What? You could see him try to dash. We saw the little funky forward movement from him, just an error, unfortunately.
I wonder if level 1 actually could have been enough to kill.
Oh, man. Smeej is still very much in this.
The defense is there. Is it again?
No
throws from Kami. What defense?
Oh, man,
no
that was
way.
so good. Turned
Oh,
an excellent defense
God.
into sudden pressure yet again.
Kami not wavering one bit. That could have been multiple frame traps that he could have run into. Willing to take the throw. None of it came. None of it came out from Smeej.
There it is, DP.
Oof.
Just like that, it's a huge opportunity for Kami. Will he spend it this time?
You have to get that drive gauge back. One more sequence is going to be pretty significant. Kami already has that corner pressure, just a slight walk up, crouching medium punch kick already spell danger for Smeej or the Fierce.
Just a nice little cage.
Oh my God, what I want to say about that interaction. No, I'm going to say that sucks. That actually sucks. You see the hammer fist completely obliterate the anti-air attempt from Jerry directly above her because she can't really uppercut from that angle. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah, really, really nice jump by Kami. So for Kami in that last game, it was much more about playing pressure. Some neutral moments, of course. Some great defense when he needed it. Ah, and Smeej has a better read this time.
Burnout.
Okay, here we go. Smeej got his stand. So match point now for Smeej. And that was more about his offense yet again. So really back and forth adaptations by these guys. Parry! Denied entrance by Smeej.
Jesus, look at the meter you build off of that. Then you get the save jump as well. Baiting out the throw. Are we going to go for the damage? Yes, we are. Break her a little bit. OD uppercut Smeej taking the big risk. That actually probably could have killed. No. Oh boy. Crouching medium.
Speaking of, he's going to hope to build 3 on this.
He does! But it doesn't matter.
Does he not even need it?
No way. Woo!
Nice work. That means that they are both at match point. Man, what a match this is so far.
I legit thought maybe he would have lived by a little bit too.
Yeah, no. Excellent work by Kami.
Oh, what? Was it because he was too shallow?
Well.
Huge! Damn! Interesting conversion. Okay, I've only seen, you know what's funny? I've only seen Punk do that.
Alright, then Smeej. Parry! This is maybe the beginning of back throw. Oh, he'd love to get a burnout.
Do it again.
He might. Kami's playing great D yet again. But he's got level 3. He's still very dangerous. Smeej, if he finds the right hit right now, he can seal it already.
This is huge.
The defense from Kami, key. This whole time it's been key. Look at the man just hanging on.
He's not pressing a single button. This guy, Kami, is on a different level of defense. His drive gauge is back. And it's Smeej.
That was coast to coast. Kami survives. What defense? That man held block from coast to coast and still found the end, the W, to move on.
Jesus. That is East Coast if I ever seen it. That is the epitome of playing the turtle defense to a T. Kami, phenomenal defense. Smeej, a little stubborn in his ways on offense, but to be fair, who could blame him? That's so difficult. You've layered so many throws prior to that. It's man, this guy's got to press a button, right? He even delayed some of his offensive pressure to make it feel like a throw was coming, but Kami didn't bite. He was willing to take that throw all day if needed.
That's quite some discipline right there.
Insane amounts of discipline. Great showcasing from both, man. Smeej, just a tough draw on trying to make Kami flinch. I think that's the highlight of it all, really.
Yeah, could he make Kami crack? And ultimately, no. Again, a lot of really interesting back and forth play. Some counter adaptations from both. Both chose to play a little bit more offense. Here was the example of Kami doing that. This round is where he really broke out with that. Then we saw Smeej try the same. But man, it was just denied by Kami and his excellent defense. Yeah, that little error there, unfortunately, but it ends up working out for him.
A little bit of a brain fart on that one because you have access to both supers, and both supers looked like it was going to kill. 2 is guaranteed, but level 1 is maybe. I will say this though, man. These final moments of offensive pressure from Smeej, it's how do you even?
It's not often that in these replays we typically see big combo, but that replay, as it should, is about blocking. because that is why he ended up taking that match in that last round. It was about blocking. It was excellent defense by Kami that puts him through, or he'll play against Psycho in the next round.
It's going to be insane, man. Watching what's about to come here and the rest of the losers side. Man, Punk versus Max Sama, then NY Mondo versus IDOM. Are you kidding me right now? This is going to be one for the books for sure. But before we get into all that, we got to talk about a little bit before we get into our break with the Bucklers Boot Camp that we've been talking about for majority of the season. If you guys want to break a sweat from the game, actually, be sure to register for the boot camp with the QR code down below. With Bucklers Boot Camp, it is a free game link, mobile-friendly website with all the features to support your enjoyment of Street Fighter 6, as you guys have been doing these last couple of months. You can check out player data on there, see what your friends are doing, all the clubs that you may or may not want to join, ranking information, all at the ease of your fingertips. You can also find other information on the characters, as well as the in-game events that are coming out, as well as like all the big collaborations. There's plenty of rewards to go through, and the updates that are coming up for this lifespan of Street Fighter 6. If you guys want to check it out, be sure to scan it down below for Bucklers Boot Camp to make the most out of your Street Fighter journey.
Well, Street Fighter League, US and Japan, have both crowned their champions. Congratulations in the US SFL to Team Spoiler Redacted, and in Japan to Team Spoiler Redacted. Street Fighter League EU, however, continues with Week 10 next week as they get closer to crowning their champions. Ultimately, next month, they'll all gather in Hollywood, California for the title of World Champions that will happen at Capcom Cup next month.
I'm so excited to see the finale of EU. We're only like a couple of weeks away before we see the playoffs and that grand finals as well. Big shout out to the talent over there. Obviously, Logan Sama hosting it, F-Word, as well as Jammers each and every time with really great insight and also entertainment. These guys are nuts. Really, really great job over to the folks across the pond. But also, if you guys have been following along, we've had Mask Away be a huge part of our Capcom Pro Tour as of late with Storm Collectibles. They brought a classic and iconic set of gaming characters back to life with their ever so high quality collectible action figures. You can see it down on the right side, stormco.com.hk. If you scan the QR code above you, I almost said below, there's a ton of collectibles to go through. And it's not even just for the most recent characters and their designs of Street Fighter 6. Obviously, you see Luke and Ryu, but you also have this was very interesting, the Ultra Street Fighter 2 versions of Fei Long and Blanca. But what's really cool about that is you see on the top right of this graphic of the characters, you have Violet Ken being showcased for the very, very first time in official lore from the Capcom side, and that character was debuted in Ultra Street Fighter 2. So I do like that. We have a big roster of characters with their different outfits. You have from 2 all the way to 6. In a very wide variety of outfits. I think it's really cool of them. So again, check it out, stormco.com.hk, or scan the QR code on the top right. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to it, you don't want to miss what's about to transpire in the losers side. We have 2 heavy hitters in peril, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Don't miss it. It's going to be pretty damn good. Get some snacks, get some hydration. I definitely need it. We'll see you after this break.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is grain fresh.
You make it fresh every day.
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
File 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at turbotax.com. That's me!
The moment I loved our Subaru Outback most was the moment they walked away from it.
Mom! Oh, thank goodness.
And that's why our family will only drive a Subaru.
Subaru. More IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. Love. It's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
These are my tissue box covers.
Remember, tissues come in their own boxes. It's important for young homeowners to let go of the things turning them into their parents. There we go. All right, who's next?
I've been holding on to these pieces of crown molding because you never know when you're going to need them.
I do, and it's never. It can be a lot for them. Do you still own that car?
I do not.
Okay.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
Empty tubs of butter are for recycling, not for my leftovers.
That's a big one, people.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to share my new merch line with you. I just need to finish the promo panel for my Twitch page. Let's see what Photoshop can do. I wish the background was less plain. I think there's a tool for that. There it is. Sky replacement. Perfect. Let's drop it in the graphic. Put the photo layer on top of the shape layer, create clipping mask. I can even move the image around within the shape. Filter gallery, add grain, horizontal, done.
Just bring it! Think you could break my defense? Got you in my sights. Smart choice. Bring it.
Switch.
もしバーンアウトして辛いと思うのなら、そもそもバーンアウトしない運用を心がける必要がまずある。これまず第一。まあそれでもなお人は愚かである。でそっからじゃあどうするんですかをじゃあもう一個考えていきましょうか。ちょっと面白いあれがあるんだけど、通常時ってガードするとマイナスじゃないですか。要するにドライブゲージが減るんで良くないんですよってなるんだけど、バーンアウトしてはむしろ逆で、通常時ガードするともうゲージがもらえるんですよ。そうですよね。だから技をガードするっていうのはバーンアウト中お得なんですよ。めちゃめちゃお得。だから俺は結構そろそろ投げてくるなと思ったらボタンを押す。そうすると相手は打撃と投げを2択なんだけど、投げを食らわないとこっち崩れないじゃん。で打撃を打ち続けるとこっちもこうモリモリゲージがもらえるから、そういうのもありなのかなっていう。
だからモダン視点の話にちょっとここはさせていただくと、SA があるときは守れるんです。
まあそうだよね。
これやこれすぐ出せますからモダンだったら。
じゃあないときどうするのか。心理なんだけど、相手がバーンアウトしてるとえぐい打ちたくなる。
いやめちゃめちゃわかるですね。
10秒に1回打ってきます。間違いない。だから飛んでいいと思います。これでもう逆にね、すごい大ダメージ取れるんで狙うといいのかなとは。確かに。
We are here with the Alpha, the leader of the Alpha Academy, Punk Dugall. What's going on, bro?
How you doing, bro?
Hey, man. I ain't used to seeing you in that green. What we got going on right there? That's looking pretty clean, bro.
Yeah, it's a new jersey. I got online. Y'all can get it too if you go on the FlyQuest website. So, y'all can also buy one of these like I did, so y'all should cop the FlyQuest merch. I know it's looking nice, right? So
it's definitely looking clean.
Go get that.
It's looking crispy. I might have to cop one of those, bro. So now seeing where it's come to, bro, like now you really probably couldn't imagine like the fighting game community becoming what it is now. Like we just seen Evo 7,000 plus entrants, bro. Are you surprised at how big everything is now?
It's definitely surprising. From watching as a kid all the time, and you just see, even though I wasn't going to tournaments, I understood how they weren't that big.
Yeah.
I look at the registrations and stuff. Outside of Evo, other tournaments weren't huge.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 5 got them a bit more bigger, but now I'm sure they're going to be very big with a lot of players going. So I just think that Capcom did a great job at marketing this game. And
bro, the launch was so fire, though.
Yeah, they just was very good from getting people like Lil Wayne and stuff like that. I feel like it helps everything out, and they just did a really good job on market. I didn't think it would be like it is now. 7,000 people at Evo is crazy.
All right, so what do you think about 6? I gotta ask you from like the Street Fighter nerd in me, bro. I gotta ask you from a technical standpoint.
It just has a lot of stuff you gotta be ready for at all time. You gotta be ready to whiff punish, check a drive rush, check a drive impact, DP, an anti-air, drive rush. You just get back into neutral whenever you want. If I don't check it, you got some free plus frames, and I'm guessing already. Yeah, I think the game is way more fun than Street Fighter V was.
Me too.
I feel like just even for spectators, it's just you watch the game and you're just excited about the smallest thing. Someone react to the drive impact and the screen froze, so you already hype. You know what's going to happen.
So $1 million for first place at Capcom Cup. If you were to win $1 million, what are you doing with it?
For me, I just want to be able to give my family a house. Is like the big thing. Why I like the $1 million this year. It can give them something. They like living. I feel like I live okay. Well, you know, it's still hard for me to take them out of where they live at. So,
it's like I feel like that's like a common thing, kind of where we come from. It's like a survivor's guilt type of. You know, you've heard of that before? Yeah. I think it's
like
common where we
just
come
want
from.
to help the people that if you didn't have them, you just wouldn't even be living, or you wouldn't grow up the way you grew up. So, for me, just being able to give my family a house is probably the thing that I would like to do the most.
Bro, honestly, you're a real ass dude, bro. Like the stuff that you get emotional about at this point, man. I just gotta say, I like on some man-to-man stuff. I know we even be having our stuff, trash talking, all that stuff like that, and going back and forth, bro. But honestly, even like man-to-man, I love you, bro, and respect you, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
Seriously, man. This has been the Alpha, the one and only Punk the God, and we have more CPT action coming at you right now.
And only Rob TV could really get that type of emotion from somebody, man. It's a really, really deep and heavy conversation to have, but a lot that really rides on some of these players, right? In terms of like the passion and the pressure both coming into these big events. You know, we talked about this one being one of the bigger events that we've had in the CPT. Over 600 players and only one moving on. And we had seen Punk in a bunch of different trials and tribulations throughout weekly tournaments, international events, but this is the one that I feel matters the most for players like him, as right now he is currently on the loser's side. My name is Vicious, here with Ultra David. We've been bringing you along this journey, but just as a refresher, let's take a look at the bracket and what we have coming up next.
It's going to be down there on loser's side, FlyQuest Punk versus Oni AGN Max Sama. After that, NY Mando versus Xset IDOM. Those are our remaining round one losers side matches. And yeah, the names Punk and IDOM being in round one losers of top 16, it's not something you hear very often. But that's where they are. Punk having been sent down by Psycho, somebody who he knows well, of course, former roommates. And now it's up to him to move on or to Max Sama to move on. We will see which one gets the job done. That's where we're going next. Punk was third place in World Warrior. He was second in points overall before that, so he's had success, of course. And I feel like he gets top 3 or wins like every online tournament.
Right.
Like, he's just always up there. If you are somebody who watches regular Street Fighter 6 big online tournament content, and like I got to imagine a lot of people watching right now are, you see him all the time. He's always up there. And sometimes it's with characters that you expect. Cammy, for example, is down there at the bottom left. That's certainly one to look for. But sometimes it's like his chat will be like, hey, play Honda. And he like,
okay, I'll do it.
He does it.
Yeah, and he does it well.
Goes really far.
I mean, like, it's only going to be to his benefit no matter who he chooses. But this is going to be a very interesting one, right? Max Sama, I didn't really get to see a lot of, like, the big information coming in from him from Star GG. But what I did see is that he's a pretty avid competitor in a multitude of different fighting games as well. Like, he's just won, he claims to have won back-to-back tournaments for a Grand Blue of some sort. So I will say this, I think he's been very competent in that style of play, because I feel like that particular game that he's excelled at is very similar to Street Fighter in terms of the pacing of it all. So I'm actually very, very curious to see what he's going to deliver as Marisa. So very excited to see also just that name in general keep popping up even more so now, because I haven't been able to see that in previous weekly events. Honestly, it's my first time really being able to see Max Sama.
It's the same for me. Yeah, I tried to do some research in terms of like how did he do in World Warrior, and I didn't see any entrances in World Warrior, for example, for the region. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. He lost to Merculo, that's why he's down here, but he beat Sonic Soul and made it past Sami as well to get into the situation. Marisa is his choice, and for Punk it will be Cammy. Punk.
What a color sequence. Or, yeah,
Oh, dude, that is gorgeous.
Is that...
That's the new outfit, right? Or is that the old outfit?
Is that like
old
a
outfit.
dark green or is that a black or is that a dark blue? I'm not going to get into that conversation.
no.
But I'm not trying to do that.
Oh,
I
no.
promise you, I'm not trying.
Oh,
it looks
no.
really great. It looks really great. It looks really
beautiful white dress.
Shut up, David. Max versus Punk. Already off to a great start. Did get the punish counter on the Superman punch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great spot for Max Sama. Already in a situation where, 2 hits is for the kill. Punk knows that.
Okay. Oh, that was right on the money, too. At the shins for the full conversion of the counter hit. This is where it gets kind of dicey, right? Marisa can't really do a lot against some of these throws, especially in the current state. Number 1, the Gladius punch, try to maybe absorb a hit on the way out, but Punk, he assessed the risk a long time ago. He was like 3/4 of the screen away.
What a back movement by Punk. What a whiff punish by Punk. That was really good stuff.
And I didn't think she was going to have enough damage to cut it because Marisa, she does have a little bit of extra vitality. That sequence off of that whiff punch was a lot.
Yeah, that's it. I really like how Max Sama got Punk into the corner in the first place. Had some good pressure, too. Keeping things tight here.
That was cool.
Yeah.
A little bit of a delay on the medium.
Oh!
That's huge. Look at the damage without any bar being spent. Safe jump as well. Keeps the pressure up. And you know what's really interesting? Yeah, Punk hasn't really been moving just yet. Even when he chooses.
That was sick!
It was only a matter of time.
Come on!
I was layering it to see whether or not Max Sama would throw out the unfold because it was only a matter of time. Punk hasn't really chosen movement as a defensive decision as often.
Seriously, great pressure by Max. Oh, no!
Even bigger damage. Are you going to spend
so
it? You
much
have
life.
to, right?
And he's going to, yeah. You get the corner, you do 60%. You still got half your drive gauge.
Do you drive rush forward to bait, or do you actually stick it out with the meaty? Drive rush forward, right? Let me see it. The meaty choice.
What a jump!
This is
Patience, then jump, and complete reversal now of positioning as Punk, if he wants, can pressure.
Oh, so much smarter this time. He actually just walked out up until that point where it was a really awkward exchange. Punk manages to find himself near the corner again.
Okay, a chance maybe for Punk, who feels to me a little more timid than I usually see. He's maybe waiting for Max Sama to make a bad choice, but that just really hasn't happened. There hasn't even been like an unsafe medium for a second. Max Sama's playing really well.
I definitely flinched. Coming in for that drive rush Gladius, looking a little bit like Inabashi. Oh, the OD? Wow. No way.
That's not enough. And he is burned. Punk backs off to avoid his own burnout.
No, he tried to play footsie the low medium kick.
Nothing?
No punish. I'm sorry, no finisher.
Right.
Whoa. No bait.
Great defense by Max Sama. Again. Oh, is that enough? Is that going to cut it? Oh, man, that extra vitality.
Raw.
Yeah, it's raw. And it's
You're dead.
CA. It's so much damage. It is enough. The extra life of Marisa was not enough to save Max Sama. So Punk, game 1.
Let's take a good look here, man. Woo. Max Sama has been so good with his offense thus far. He's really throwing Punk in place. It hasn't really dawned on him that these side switches are the only times when he's really taking damage. And it's not even like by a lot of like errors. Right? He hasn't made big errors at all, I think, in my opinion.
No, he's had great defense, great neutral. Yeah, honestly, it's been a great game.
Jesus.
Great stuff overall. And really good awareness in these corner juggles. Yeah, honestly. I have really liked it.
Damn.
Burnout, anything's going to do it. Yeah, jeez, what a round by Max Sama.
Another phenomenal start.
Not at all taking a bait right here.
Man, the phalanx mid-air gets clipped. Good conversion as well, and I love the use of armor again. Perfect parry. Mostly going to attack the drive gauge and get that positioning. Man, that was mid-air as well. That's so difficult. I think he might have mixed himself up. Max didn't know what side he was going to be on.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it was strictly necessary, but there you go. It's getting a little weird out there.
A little bit. You can see a little bit of the frustrations. Like Punk's is like, I don't even know who you are. Like, why are you making me play to this degree? You have been so sturdy, and it actually makes me upset.
It is a good way to put it, yeah, for Max Sama, but nevertheless, it is match point like Punk, despite getting a little funky at the end of that last round.
Sometimes you got to boost your own confidence by any means necessary, even if it's at the expense of your opponent on a grand stage like this one. Ah, you saw movement as the option there. Max does get clipped. He's in frames.
follow up. Smart. Here's Punk. Gonna try to dump it all? Yes.
Oh, yes. And that's...
So this is good, right? A lot of damage. It means he's probably a mix-up away from getting the kill. However, on the other side, if he gets tossed in the corner here, almost good night. So he doesn't even try to pressure.
Yeah, he's big chilling. Look at the amount of drive
Okay.
you get back. Oh, no!
One hit away from death. No!
Maybe it was a bait. Perhaps.
Could be.
It could have been an intentional drop.
Could be.
To get that meaty.
Punk is not easily going to give up this positioning right
This
here.
is death for Punk, by the way. If he, oh my God!
Oh yeah, no, totally. If Max Sama gets the next hit, he's hoping to convince Punk to move away, to jump, to do something ill-advised. Nothing like that came. So Max Sama backs off. Plenty of time on the clock to get a hit.
Oh my God!
Big jumps. That is gonna do it. And in the end, Punk is the one who takes it. I feel like Max Sama played great, but honestly, Punk was the one who did what he needed to do when he needed to do it, and he moved forward 2-0.
Yeah, there was already quite the mental sack being built up. I don't blame him for not being able to sense when the drive impact was coming. It was a little bit further away from the wall than we anticipated, but I think. But having that critical art still on deck, that was actually quite gutsy for Punk. It was actually a really, really big risk for him to take and throw out that drive impact because, again, Marisa, despite not having that much life left, still seeing that critical art down below could easily diminish the rest of Cammy's life gauge. But just looking at the way it's been, I feel like it's been very much so in the favor of Max Sama in the early parts of these rounds. And it wasn't until like Punk was really like pushed under pressure and also getting the side switches where he was actually able to excel. But man, kudos to Max Sama. This guy...
Totally. I really like what we saw right there. Even though it wasn't in the W, I'm hoping to see more of the player because I thought that was really good.
This kid is... listen, he's a full-grown man.
Yeah.
But he's younger than me. So this kid is phenomenal. I'm not going to lie, man. The way that he was navigating with Marisa in a very interesting matchup too, he is... I don't know. There's a lot of potential there just watching the way he was playing. I was very impressed. Max Sama, hope to see him out there a little bit more often. But Punk, he's the one that moves on to face off against Space Boy.
All right. Well, and we'll move on down to the final round 1 top 16 matchup. It's going to be NY Mando versus XSET IDOM. Mando down here because he lost his simple tricks. He beat players including Fatality and Strife in moving into this position. IDOM is down here because he lost to Paladin, who is sitting pretty in top 8 winners side. And then before that had to beat NYC Furby, and then after that had to beat Diaphone, so he's had a pretty tough set of matches for sure. You know, good stuff by him. As you all know, former Capcom Cup champ.
Who, this guy?
This guy. He was 4th in World Warrior. He was 6th in points before that. And for NY Mando, I didn't see that there were any entrances in World Warrior. Not a lot of big results that I could see, at least on StartGG. StartGG doesn't tell the whole story, of course, but tried to do a little bit of research and didn't see too much there. So I am very curious about what we're going to see. But I can tell you that it is going to be Zangief. I can also tell you this fact about himself. Up until 6 months ago, I was primarily an MMO player.
Interesting.
6 months. So
And he's already put it together with a character like Zangief. Like, again, we've talked about metas, we've talked about tier lists a bunch of times over. One thing is consistent that everybody agrees on. Zangief's struggling. Zangief's kind of struggling. But it's kind of weird to say that too because you have a competitor in Capcom Cup with the same character. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what it is about this character and also what it is about Mondo that has him here on the top 16. But if IDOM thus far, this is kind of a tall order though. You're facing off against a Capcom Cup champion.
Right.
Ooh, that was a setup for a grab if I ever seen it.
You're right, IDOM was not going to see that happen. Into, tried to confirm, no big deal. IDOM is playing a very solid ground game at the moment.
Little sidebar here, David. I still can't believe you're not playing this game.
Which one?
Zangief, that's your boy.
I don't feel like he's for me, but thank you. I mean, historically he was my boy. I don't know if this is my guy.
I know. You switched off to Honda. Anyways, as we resume.
You know, Mondo, his quote was, "I'm nervous. I don't participate in these events much." So I hope for his sake that we'll see somebody who has tightened it up. But right now it is IDOM who really has control.
That's so tricky to try to contest against that. Even afterwards, if IDOM doesn't hit to the cancel, possibly the command damage. 3 incoming, more than enough damage. Absolutely, IDOM's doing it perfect.
Yeah, IDOM just, again, very, very strong control. He reacted well. I think you're right about the forward medium kick. Probably intended that as a grab setup by Mando. IDOM shut it down, and he shut it down pretty much all over the place. So for Mando, what is the change? Ooh.
It's a very interesting interaction too. I think, you know, we talked about this earlier in anticipation for IDOM. Mono doesn't necessarily have like the strongest fixers in the tradition right now. Like, I think overall it's been very hard for her to kind of like close the gap. She has like some really like far-reaching single strikes,
Yeah.
sure, but that can also get blown up pretty significantly.
Among the most DI-able buttons.
Right. But one thing is for certain, her jump arc is so annoying. In a great way. Jump roundhouse really reduces her arc to get to close the gapping, but it hasn't really been the case for IDOM. He hasn't really had to rely on anything like that thus far. It's been pure footsies.
Yeah, he jumped twice and he got anti-aired, but he doesn't even need that, I think. He's back to mid-screen, playing it safely, playing it cautiously, maybe moving a little bit too far.
You think so?
I would say he's got a pixel of health advantage to more. Okay, there it is.
Was that... I actually blinked at the moment of those lights being chained together. It had to have been Mondo maybe like moving forward. I didn't see a counter hit, right?
Yeah.
But it was also a crouch animation. That's what like bugged me out the most.
Ooh, defense by IDOM. Here it is.
Protect from Mondo. The sweep is there. It's also very, very deceptive. That thing is mad fast.
He's looking a little bit more comfortable to me, is Mando.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, he's at least moving around a little bit more. It's not exclusively about IDOM having control, but that maybe is. Maybe is.
I don't know if it's enough damage against the big fella.
Okay, big fella. Hey.
The fuzzy setup.
Moves forward. IDOM's quote was, "I built Super Heavy Samurai. I opened the 1,000-year door. I conjured spells to fight off my foes." And he did just that.
I don't know any of those references.
I don't know either. I thought they were cool, though. And he is in top 16, top 12 now is what he is qualified into. So
now I'm going to look at
one more round to go for these players, as you see up on the screen. Mando, man, 6 months? You're already in top 16 of Street Fighter 6 CPT? That's sick.
That's a lot better than most people who've been
Like
playing
almost
for
everybody.
years.
Yeah.
I think it's
6
fair to say
months?
like almost everybody. 6 months into it, Mondo, very promising future.
Yeah.
Still, you had to face off against one of the best in the world, and that's totally understandable, but we would love to see that potential. Man, these last two players, Max Sama and Mondo, actually very, very promising future for both of these cats, seeing the way they are currently in the top 16, but would love to see them even more so in other weekly events. Alex Smith versus Flux Waves is what's coming up next. Also, it's going to be pretty important considering this is round 2 of the loser's side. 39 to 30.
Yeah, nice.
Doesn't even look it for either one of them. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I still feel like, man, I remember that interaction with Flux Waves from him landing into LA. Really, really nervous cat. Hasn't really been to like LA prior to that, but
okay.
he's really grown into a very, very prominent Street Fighter player.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Smith, I still remember my first couple of encounters with him in like the beta.
Okay.
This guy is mad good. He's just the complete package, man. He is like old school as hell, and he's really, really dope. So it's really cool to see like the I guess the two different generations come at it again.
Yeah. I mean, he lost to Paladin, who we saw earlier. That's why he's down here in this position. Paladin making it into top 8 of winners side. So now it's on Alex Smith. Man, it feels bad to lose, to make it into top 16 winners and then to lose twice. That is a tough feeling. So for his sake, you're hoping that that's not going to happen. But however, Flux Waves, who was sent down earlier, I'm checking my notes, having lost to Alex Smith.
Did I write that down?
Which means that it is a run back.
I didn't get to write that down. I ran out of time, but I see. That's actually pretty.
It is a run back here.
Pretty
so
wild. I was just about to ask that. I feel like there was a little bit of like a couple of uncomfortable situations for Alex Smith running into the Ryu, and like I know for sure he's had like that practice early on. But to be fair, like Paladin has just been thinking outside of the box with his character.
Yeah.
It's so hard to even adapt to it. Even as commentators, we were thinking to ourselves like, man, Paladin has really shown off different looks on offense as well as defense for Ryu. So it was kind of like a tough draw, I feel like, for Alex Smith. There's nobody who's going to be able to replicate that no matter how hard you practice.
I understand, yeah.
But now you're going into a character that's like a dime a dozen as well.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Going into JP, as strong as he is, there's at least a lot more data that you could figure out in terms of identifying sequences and how to defend or playing offense against it, right? Ooh.
Back to the range that Flux Wave wants. Okay.
Things have been coming up, Flux Wave, I feel like, when it comes to some of these shadows hitting, right? It happened earlier against Adrian Wyatt running into a couple of those shadows.
It can be a volatile matchup for JP. And characters in general who have excellent movement. A little bit
Brother,
wow,
this
okay,
guy is sneaky.
That was cool. That was cool. The movement doesn't matter if you get the corner, I guess. But that is part of the potential downfall. Keeping his eye on her forward movement, her corner pressure.
But who expects after an overhead landing? Who expects that drive?
No.
This is the sequence that Alex wants. We talked about the corner pressure. Dash up play again. Do one more time if you wanted to. But he's going to play it safe. Trusting intuition on that one.
Quite an answer.
What the? Departure on top.
A little bit too early.
Oh, that is huge. And that's level 2 as well. Attack on the drive move. You could probably set it up for it, but yeah, there it is. Do it again. Watch out for this throw. Ooh, that could have been a big punish counter for a possible burnout with Flux Waves. Give it a check.
Oh! No! Oh. Okay, key backwards jump and solving the forwards pressure. Flux Waves, man, that was getting a little risky there.
I was about to say,
But
Cockadoo, is that you? And I'm glad it didn't turn out the way it did. You actually had just one more dab away before taking it down. Right back into it. Flux Waves does have the first game. Drive rush forward, touch medium, punch was the big counter hit opener to check Alex. I'd imagine Alex tried to preemptively stop that. He sees Bing, he's trying to press the button, he gets that. And now in this state of departure, plus the ghosts, it's hard to maneuver.
Love that jump timing.
Ooh, plenty of time to react to it. A very expensive way to do it, though, with Flux Waves. Sets up the departure, double time, dash up twice.
Ooh, that is sick. Is that enough?
Not enough.
No.
But it sets up nicely for the spike either way. I don't know if that would have... Oh, that was chip kill. Damn! That was a lot.
A lot, yeah, I'm with you. So match point now for Flux Waves. Smith, first one to start it out.
Overhead's blocked. Still gets the pursuit afterwards. Right through. Response to fire by Flux Waves. What?
Whoa, that was sick! Oh, that's a punish.
A little overzealous going in for a second
What a
time.
reset. Oh, man, he is getting pretty wild here. I love this.
That's fair, though. I mean, Flux Waves, he hasn't really shown off that card. None of the JPs have, to be honest. Oof.
But when Alex has had big corner pressure, look good. He got it perfect with that after all. Level 2 will come out.
Too far? Level 2 is going to be a lot for us to deal with.
Definitely a tough spot. Back to mid-range. It was not really the right timing. This allows Alex Smith to get back in.
Good hope.
I love the invasive maneuvers, but not close enough. No way does he whiff that. Flux Waves, after that counter poke too, I think it was a punish counter. It was just too far for the rest of the combo to hit. That's mad unfortunate. Great for Alex Smith.
Yeah.
There we go. A little bit earlier on the drive rush, crouching medium punch. Checking Flux Waves on his defensive decisions. Oh, jump out of there!
Back, though. It is a pretty natural reaction to hold up back, but man, it's tough. Oh, no.
You know what that was.
Yeah, Punk won his last
Still with the
match.
pickup?
Just getting chip while he can. And getting a lot of chip. It's a bit about a quarter life, maybe a third life in chip.
Oh, and he gets a full-on punish as well. Level 2, you're going to be eating a lot of this damage. Possibly a side switch. No, we're just going to go purely for the mix! It's the mix at the end! Flux Waves throwing in the overhead in a way that Alex Smith couldn't anticipate. That's actually a rough shot. 2-0, Flux Waves eliminating one of the legends, Alex Smith.
Again, that was a run back, as you mentioned earlier. So Flux Waves lost to Alex earlier. This time sends Alex out of the tournament. I really am always impressed watching Flux Waves play. I feel like he's got one of the most like grounded,
this dude commentating with
JPs. Like, I feel
Vicious
like he's got
sounds
like a
like
really good sense of when to stand his ground. I mean, we're
sounds
looking
like
at highlights that
Sage,
are him moving forward because that's when you find the big hits. But a lot of the time it's him doing that, walking, patient, on reaction, brings out this. That's a perfect example of how Flux Waves does Played great Street Fighter 6.
I think he's definitely been on reaction a lot of the times, at least trying to figure out what his opponent's all about. But there's got to be like some sort of
wait, you
data
don't like
prior to
Vicious?
that, which is what led to him maybe playing this way. I haven't really been able to check all of the other replays of him playing, but like playstyle wise, I'd imagine there was a lot of activity coming in from like Alex Smith in the earlier sequences where he decided, you know what, I'm going to play a little bit more reactive in these next couple of games. But it paid off pretty damn well. 2-0 Flux Waves, making sure that binder stays intact.
Wait, why don't you like Vicious?
Adding a couple
He's
of
been around
pages.
forever.
But now he gets to chill until tomorrow. Big congratulations. We have 3 more remaining players to get into top 8. We're not going to do it quite
Wait,
just
really?
yet, but man, look at this lineup. Psycho versus Kami, Spaceboy versus Punk, Ramos versus Idom. Whew! That's a lot to take in. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Pockets. We talked about this for a while now, part of the Bucklers boot camp. A lot of the players that I've seen and follow along my timeline,
the fake hype.
they've been starting to get behind it as well. We're seeing Pockets characters kind of show up out of nowhere, and some that aren't even like available in Street Fighter 6. Like I've seen personally Super Yen open up a Balrog and M Bison. It's pretty neat that they have a lot of hidden characters still in this game.
Look at the Ryu. That's all go Ryu.
If you want to take a break from the game,
cute guy.
be sure to head over to Buckler's Bootcamp where you can play Pockets. It's a mini game in which you develop your character by training these cute dot characters. The service is based on the motto praise and develop, which is the intention of Buckler's president. I don't know who that is quite yet, but feel free to register as a member and get involved with all the other players that have been
Nah, I
playing
know
this
what you
little
mean,
mini game. A very, very cute mini game.
That's a good Ryu.
It's a really good boy.
Look at him. He's a little cute guy. And you can give him food. It's one of the things he needs. He needs food. But so does everybody else.
Don't we all?
Everybody needs food, in fact. Thanks very much to Chipotle for joining hands with Capcom during this first year of Street Fighter 6. For a limited time only, the carne asada's right there. Look at that. Come on. Look at that. Tender cuts of steak with
Kimberly's
lime,
versus
cilantro,
Luke.
and signature spices. Come on. I'm a Sofritas boy. I've been telling you that. You guys know that.
There's a Ryu in top
Jeremy,
8, I think, right?
Carne asada boy?
While it's up, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? It's
Oh,
an
this is the
upgraded
Kim
steak.
that did.
That's literally what it is. It's an
I'll take
upgraded
one
steak.
upgraded steak, please.
Yeah, man.
Carne asada back on the grill for a limited time. Again, thanks so much to
Oh,
Chipotle.
shit.
So we're going to take another break. We have 3 matches remaining to decide who will get into top 8. Again,
It's going to be a good
those
match then because
matches
they probably play
include
against each other all the time.
Psycho versus Kami, and then Space Boy versus Punk, and Ramos versus Idom. The question is whether Idom makes it, Punk makes it. Man, can you imagine if
whatever you're gonna say?
if top
I
8 does
cannot.
not include Idom or Punk, it's a possibility. We'll see if that happens. Coming right back.
Chipotle's carne asada is back.
5 minutes.
It's our most tender cuts of steak, grilled and seasoned with cumin, oregano, and coriander. Finished with fresh lime and hand-chopped cilantro. Carne asada. This is our best steak ever.
Oh, no. Huh? Deep. And then heart. Put on Tekken. What's Tekken on Bandai?
This season, it's only gotten better. Big Bird in trouble.
Great whip punish. Oh, speaking of great whip punish, the down 4-1, you weren't that far away.
Huge damage will have to break that tackle. Guess for game. You guessed wrong, you're done.
Oh my gosh, and the Marduk back in play saves the day for Atif. And man, Book has been playing amazing, was not able to close it out, but we got to talk about the adjustment. Completely slowing down and changing the game up when he saw the Jin come out. And it's like that's the one that he was ready for. So maybe that counter pick long
this
game
the last one,
working
right?
out in his favor now.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the game that could be a huge decider because again, Atif, the previous World Tour champion, the guy is sort of expecting to maybe go back and do it all again. But again, like I said, all the curses are at play. Previous champions
that's
never
the
won
last
again.
one.
The guy who's
I'll
supposed
be
to
right
win
back.
the tournament never wins
your
the
ice cream,
tournament.
maybe?
So there's so much going working at play here. As I think we're going to take a look at the standings right now for Group C, and there it is. Atif has now put himself in second place, but with one game, he has one game left to play. and it's the run back of the grand finals. It's going to be Atif versus John Ding. So the run back of last year's grand finals, and that is to hopefully secure a spot, because again, you've still got John Ding has 2 games left to play. John Ding's last 2 games are Atif and Loha.
Oh my gosh, dude. Atif and Loha, your last 2 games to decide if you're going to even have a chance of making it out of the group?
But again,
no.
you know, Book not done himself. You know, he's still, I think with a 2-0 win over Joe Crush, and if Atif loses that last game, like, Book is still in this. But again, he's in a situation that I've been here before. You don't want to be putting your fate in other people's hands.
And another person's performance. It's really gonna be a lot harder to actually make that call, especially once again coming for your last 2 games and 2 of the strongest players in the group. Man, this is gonna be tough. But it's really easy to keep track of what happens in the Tekken World Tour. All you got to do, TekkenWorldTour.com. And make sure you follow us on X at both @Tekken and BNE Esports for all the amazing highlights, some of the tour stops, points, and updates. And, of course, to keep track of all the exciting matches and the ones you're seeing here, make sure you go to BNE Esports on YouTube, give a follow, like, sub, and go watch all the replays there.
And here's the thing. This is the last Tekken 7 Tekken World Tour, because when that is all said and done, Tekken 8, take a look at the premium collector's edition there. Pre-order now. Get that exclusive electrified figurine standing 25 centimeters tall. You get the full game, all Ultimate Edition content and bonuses, the premium box, the steel book, the collectible character card, the arcade token, and the Leroy. I low-key want to pre-order just for the Leroy Smith ring.
I thought you already had it on for a while, because I see you rocking the finger jewelry.
But I think I kind of want it just for the Leroy Smith ring. I'm in 2 minds about it right now. But again, the rest of you guys, you get it for everything else. Don't worry about me. Again, available January 26th, which is not that long away.
It's really not far away, man. I don't think we're ever going to see like a transition from a game like this straight into another game ever again. And on top of it, they've completely revamped how they're going at it. We've had like the CNTs, we had the open CNTs, or the open betas as well. So everybody's got their hand on. I mean, they even have it outside in the lobby for you to play if you really want to play it. But you got to be here.
Is it the full build?
I don't think it's the full build. I could be wrong, though. I've only seen like the versus screen. But we do have to take a quick break, but we got plenty of group play left. It's been a pleasure talking with my man on the mic once again, because we don't get to do it too often, but it's always a pleasure. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We have more Tekken 7 action right after this.
Then they'll probably finally do a patch and add Ed or whatever.
Too, man. I like to learn something like personal about the people too. So I know that you're in school and everything. Let the people know like what's going on with that, and what are you even in school for?
I'm in school for IT. I graduate this May. I barely passed. I've been playing so much. I've just been busy in general. But hey, passing, C's get degrees, and I've been playing pretty good this season. So I got to have the best of both worlds in that sense. I got to play really good Season 1 of Street Fighter 6, and I'm still on set to get my degree. I will be entering the workforce. I don't want to be crashing in my parents' home, so it's kind of tough. I don't know if I'm gonna take a year off just to play some more, or if I'm just gonna save up and get my own place and then play. But I will be playing a lot of Street Fighter.
Hey, listen, life comes at you fast. You don't know. You might win this weekend, and suddenly you find yourself with $1 million sitting in your lap, and your perspective might change. That graduation day might start looking way off. So don't count yourself out on that front.
Space Boy, I just want to say thanks for all of the years of training that we put in throughout Street Fighter V and everything, and I'm glad to see you still cooking people up in Street Fighter 6, bro. One of the most genuine and solid dudes in the NAFGC, and good luck to you in NA East, bro.
Well, Space Boy is still in it, still has the chance to make top 8 and then to get into Capcom Cup. But so do the remaining competitors who we have here, as we are in our last 3 matches of the top 16 here for US, Canada, East. Ultra David, Vicious back with you. We're going to be heading in to Psycho versus Cammy at first. Show you the bracket.
Man, you're going to hit me with the Cammy? It's Kami, baby.
What did I
Psycho
say?
versus Kami. So this is going to be very interesting, right? We talked
What
about
kind of
the
Kami
layer.
are we talking about?
The one that's currently in the top 16, David. So we've seen his very high level defense. It's already being praised all across Twitter from Kami. Now, we got to preface this with Psycho and Kimberly, right? We talked about the different layers of offense that Kimberly has inherently. I think it's really neat to see anything coming off the spray can, anything in the corner. But we didn't really get to see that from Psycho in his performance against Naji. Now, it's going to be a whole different story. Like, he has to maybe close the gap against Luke and possibly get those mix-ups going. But I want to see what Kami does to kind of rebuttal that. I want to see more defense, essentially what I'm saying from Kami.
It is really fun to watch defense. I super agree. Just seeing somebody block and be correct about defense for like long stretches, or to do that yourself, for me is more interesting in some ways than seeing somebody like have a sick mix-up. Like, I don't know, the mix-up is planned. It's like prepared. Like, you have like the thing that you do.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're the defender, you don't know what's coming next. You are making reads. It's a hard position to be in. So to make that many correct reads in a row, it's just always impressive to me. So shout out to him for that. But as Psycho comes in here, he's got a very strong Kimberly.
I didn't realize that this version of Luke still has like the braces. Imagine being an MMA fighter with braces. That's terrifying. Anyways, there's the mix already coming through. Psycho being able to play a lot more offense right out the gate.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get pressure, get knockdowns, she has the kind of offense that I feel like, even if you're great defensively, it is hard to block her consistently. She's got a lot of stuff going on. That's a great situation.
I like the defensive choice of just using the OD bust out, OD uppercut. Just hinder Psycho right then and there. Especially after that very tricky slight mix-up of the delayed Tatsu there.
Yeah, it can be plus. It's a pretty cool setup.
I'm not even trying to guess that. I think the most it could be is maybe like +2. But it's a very violent name for that move, the torso splitter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
She's aiming for your chin so that it splits your torso. Oh my god, that right there should be the torso splitter right there, if you're asking me. But no, it's the eraser. This is good.
Also good. House coast to coast. Okay. Psycho builds his way out of it.
Jesus, a little bit of a stutter step
again, though, that was Kami just holding on, not pressing a button. Taking a lot of turns here as Psycho.
A little bit low on the
forcing a lot of plus frames. Yeah, Kami down there.
If Kami gets a single opening into a drive rush combo, it could potentially spell death, at least with the level 2 and the sharp angle. And there's the mix! You can't block forever. Psycho making a huge statement off of that anti-air. That is evident because you get that cancel, you get that run cancel off of that. Pretty significant to set up your left-right mix.
Super good idea by Psycho. Okay. Again, even if you have great defense, it's just hard to block against her consistently. Kami's in. I would imagine he spends here. Yes.
You kind of have to. You want to get that drive gauge going.
For sure. A lot of damage to start.
Do you walk up and check? It's a fierce sights that are set forward.
They're both like just outside of each other's ranges. Excellent spacing by both players. They can both turn it on right away. Does he keep it up? Yes. Hey, you better kill. You better kill.
You can't.
Uh-oh.
I don't think that's too bad for Kami. Look at this space behind him, right? He gets to hold block as much as he wants to, if he can keep up, that is. There's going to be a lot of tricky mix-ups coming in from Psycho.
Again. With punish. No.
Right back in the
Regular
game.
jump. Oh, man. There it is.
That's so tricky still.
No cares there, but
and
there
that's
it is.
fine. The uppercut. Had Psycho done maybe, I swear to God, if he had thrown down the elbow to bait out, man, that would have been an entirely different story. But Kami still having the audacity to come in with an uppercut. Hit, yeah, full conversion. That's a lot of extra plus. Jump on the other side. And I like that Kami was just trying to pursue like a side pitch again, immediately jumping to the sky for Psycho. The throw mix now. No bait from Kami.
Oh.
Interesting. Even after the spray can setup, the teleport setup, Psycho wasn't able to dish out as much damage as he wanted to.
He's doing a great job of it right now. Kami, the way he finds his way out, very interesting that he just drive rush in.
No way!
Wow, Kami's right!
Psycho went for the mix. And in a spot where I think he could have done enough damage to let a level 3 rip. I don't know, man. Look at how much damage, or look at how much life Kami had left.
I guess if you think about it, if that had hit, you know, you link it into crouching jab super basically, like you get
was
the
it
kill.
necessary, though? Like, do you think he could have killed without it?
I don't think he could have killed it.
I really think so, huh? I feel like maybe he could. That's hard. Really hard to call out, but man, what a risk to take. Hunter not paying off the Kami, trying to press the button afterwards. A delayed tech. A little bit of the defensive decisions being shown from Kami now. Not just willing to just take those blocks. Lucian regular. Lucian Senjuka.
Oh, cute.
What's interesting is that like some of the big hits that that Psycho has doesn't lead to any sort of mix-up yet. He hasn't spent that bar really to make it hurt. Oh, that's very sneaky. Level 2. You know, I think that's fine. The damage is there. Now you're close enough for a movie. You're going to have your drive gauge back.
Yeah, it's strike throw for the kill.
I'm sorry. No, actually, it's not.
No anti-air, but again, his excellent defense comes into play. Hey, and he's the one who gets the mix if it's match point.
The mix was normal block back.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, man. I mean, Luke's still within that range to get some of these throw loops going, but mid-range, I don't think you have to fear it as much. It is guess for game, though, to be fair. Yeah. Throw. The backdash does get clipped, but it's actually not going to lead to a lot of damage. I feel like that's been the highlight of Psycho's performance thus far, at least against Kami. Some of these big hits have not really been as intimidating to force any big errors from Kami. What are you going to do about this?
Oh,
what an interruption.
That
Great
was
check.
sick. A little too early, but that's okay for him. Uh-oh.
Defensive throw is what it was.
He was right. He was right. Okay. And with 3 bars, Psycho's coming into this in an okay position.
Oh, that's tricky.
Unusual stuff.
For the damage output.
Kami's style is so interesting. It's so unique. He hasn't really been super heavy on pressure. It's been about his defense. However, we got to see if it holds up here.
A little bit of a funky occurrence. He actually had dashed up into the jump roundhouse from Psycho on the way in. It's going to be pretty significant. It does have that buff going. Jesus to play raw? No, that was actually off of a cancel. What was that? I've never seen him drop like that.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, boy.
Come on.
He's hunting for it yet again.
He tried to press the button to counter it. Saw the attempt at a check. Psycho does have enough life. But again, another counter hit opportunity. Yeah. Not making the most of these drive rushes, and that's fine. Yeah, just dropping on top of the noggin. Crouching, elbow drop in the air. Kami not really able to, like, react appropriately. Crouching heavy punch does kind of stuff that out, but you have to really see it.
I think it's a different timing, I would imagine.
Yeah, you have to be mad early. Gotta study harder. Back to back, 3 in a row. Gotta go for a 4th. That was movement as an option from Kami. Defense again, trying to get out of the situation.
This is exactly what a Kimberly wants. Well, okay, caught it. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, he's trying to end it.
As he should, man. I mean, wouldn't that's both players.
He overtook it slightly, but wow, again caught it, and so now it's match point Psycho. Big switch.
Ooh. feel like it could have led to a lot more. Kami still just trying to react to the spray can. Excuse me, the teleport. Second time I said that. The teleport could be a little bit of a problem for Kami. Side switch? No, it doesn't need it. He's going for the advantage. That trade is everything, I feel like, for Psycho to get himself going. Also to close the gap. As well. Oh, that's punish counter.
And Kami takes advantage.
Yeah,
he killed.
Yeah.
So it will be now match point for both. More resources on the left, but man, still.
It's going to take a lot for... I feel like with the way that Psycho's been playing offense, it's going to take a lot to really get a conversion into the level 3. Right? We have seen a couple of drops. We've seen a lot of reset attempts from Psycho. So if we could land at least one solid combo into level 3, that'll spell a huge difference. Again, going for a final fight chain that doesn't lead into a level 3 cancel.
Right. I mean, although he's found tons of hits, very few of them have been for big damage.
I thought it was going to be on the other side. We've seen that option to parry again from Kami. OD uppercut, preventing the mix from even happening.
Okay, in. Forcing burnout is a good decision.
What do you do after that in pursuit?
How do you approach Kami? Kami just feels very confident.
That was tricky. What a block!
Nice! Set it up.
That
Back
decision,
off.
I can understand.
Oh boy!
Dash up.
Oh boy! Did you really?
He delayed the crouch jab. No way! Kami getting away with it all. Level 1, more than enough. Psycho letting it slip from his hands. No way! No way he held on to that meter. I totally understand like why he would do it from the very beginning. It's like just in case it doesn't kill, you have some meter for yourself to play defense. But you let Luke live, brother. Kami with the composure and the execution for the rest of his combos.
If you look at some stat, say there's some stat like number of times that you hit the opponent versus like how much damage you deal, it is such a huge swing for both of these players. Psycho found so many hits. He got so many individual hits.
He did.
So many.
But it didn't lead to
very rarely was it into big damage.
Setup.
Right. I mean, sometimes for Kim that is the case, right? There's certainly some conversions where she just doesn't deal big damage, but there were also some moments where he could have had bigger damage but went for a reset.
Yeah.
There were some situations where he dropped stuff. And for Kami, it's not like he found like a ton of hits. He wasn't constantly getting the big hits, but when he found a hit, it always mattered. Here's an example.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we've seen from Psycho, when he decides to use his drive gauge, it's for an opportunity of for a mix, but it's more often than not played out in Kami's favor. Then it goes right back into this type of sequencing where we're just kind of waiting for Kami's big explosive moment. Psycho kind of reluctant to even spend the drive gauge for anything other than a mix. Like, the damage is there. When you get the opening, you might as well spend it. Like, if you're going to put yourself in burnout, so be it. At least it gets you that level 3 opportunity, at least a knockdown to set up for Genius at play, and a mix off of that. I'd much rather force an opponent to guess the spray can setup because how it blocks the graphics from, or at least blocks the character from at least like figuring out what to block with. It's so interesting to see like Psycho not willing to spend that meter with such an aggressive character.
That was the choice. And unfortunately for him, it doesn't end up working out. So he's the one who sent Punk down to losers, but he will not have moved on into top 8 himself. Flux Waves versus Kami will be tomorrow. And now our last 2 matches of the day. We're going to start out with Space Boy versus Punk. As I just mentioned, Punk is down here because Psycho, his former roommate, beat him using his own 3rd place bronze Evo Victrix. And look, you could see in the interview, I hope you all watched during the breaks as well, because we have great interviews that Rob has done with a bunch of these players. Rob, Brian, etc. have done with these players. It was heartwarming, interesting. You feel for him a bit to see Punk tear up talking about how he could give his family a house if he wins the million. I mean, it is not just about playing and doing your best in video games. Some of the players, when it becomes a realistic possibility, if you really have the chance to win $1 million, right? We all would love to win it, right? Sort of in the sense of like, yeah, I would like to, but is that a possibility for you, practically speaking? For Punk, it certainly is. And so that feels closer for him than it may for many other players. You could really see that in his expression there in that interview with Rob. So there's a lot on the line for him here. as he's in losers. But look, Space Boy is a very strong competitor. It's not going to be an easy one for him to get through. Space Boy is going to, as he has in the past, show that he has a lot to say. He can certainly make the top 8 and deny thereby Punk from getting into top 8. We'll see.
On top of juggling whatever it is that he's been doing.
Yeah, busy guy,
right? Like he's talking about C's gets degrees. Like he's doing the full-time thing of balancing school, balancing work, and also balancing Street Fighter 6. Right? We totally understand the different pressures that people are put into in these circumstances. So a lot on the line for both players. Right? Space Boy with a loop, very impressive. Already aggressive start, getting the throw against Punk. And it's totally understandable. In that sequence, if you cancel a low medium kick and you drive rush forward, in order for it to be a true block string, you have to go in with the light. Punk will definitely go through that with an uppercut if he gets that opportunity. So good on Space Boy to make that happen for him.
Okay. Punk with a bit of an offbeat dive kick.
What a stop! Like, how often do we see that from Punk? That standing jab. And not going to do anything enough. He gets to cancel one more time if he needs to. But no, he goes for the target combo. I don't know about that.
Okay, it ends up. Yeah, that said, back to the last match that we saw, Punk versus Max Sama. We were both impressed by Max Sama, and Punk did have some drops, some funky decisions in there. Hopefully for his sake, he tightens it up. The Space Boy,
damn!
What a great decision.
That was disgusting.
That was so
high
good.
Up, and I like that decision to throw as well. Knocking on the door a little bit. You saw the late stagger on the jab, and now staggering you with other normals as well. That multimedia punches everything, but that punish counter even bigger. You spend it, absolutely you do. But look at this. It's not going to lead to death just yet. The drive gauge, I feel like it's not going to be a huge factor as much. But it's this very moment where you get to stutter step forward. No, drive rush, and it's the shimmy. It was a scary movie. You blink and you miss it and you die. It's crazy. Space Boy driving up with a drive-by flash knuckle.
Good whiff punish by Punk, keeping his eyes open as always. Always the reactions are there. Oh, nice. Didn't just be content with the grab.
I think either way is fine. Either corner switch or at least reset back to the mid-screen. Uppercut, full control. Now for Space Boy, back throw. Now gets the driver forward again. Overhead is there. Punk, not ready for it.
Oh man, Space Boy is right up close. Again, Punk with the kind of funky timing on the dive kick though.
You talked about offbeat, man. It's been on for thus far. That's a perfect parry.
You think he can kill? He can kill.
Yeah.
Level 2's there.
Dash up, level 2. I think that might be enough damage.
I mean, it's obviously heavily scaled, but is that enough? Last hit, yes.
Sheesh. You know, that's really tough too. Imagine if Punk had survived that, he had a little bit of drive gauge left in him, and a fireball wouldn't chip out of that range. Or at least it would have put him into crit out of that range. On top of having a critical art, it would have been nuts. What is happening? This guy's flying all over the place already.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, we saw the same interaction previously where it was a whiff grab as like the attempt. A little funky timing. Space Boy looking confident in neutral. Yes, walks into exactly the right spot.
Knuckle. Looking at the medium punch. Now it's going to be Punk's turn. Holds the uppercut. Big punish. And we realize the names haven't been switched yet. Space Boy and it is the Punk, by the way.
Oh, got it. No. Well, it all works out. It all works out for Punk. Should be able to take the round. Again, we have seen a little bit of funkiness from him, but this time it looks okay.
Nice finish, nice switch over. I see you. But a couple of sneaky movements behind that giant impact make it a little bit harder to tell when it's coming out.
Yeah, she just kind of spins in like a bunch of her moves. You know?
I hate it. I can't keep track of it all. Totally fine to get that right conversion forward throw. Immediately afterwards, the drive rush.
Oh, again! Oh man, I love that solution. And Space Boy backing off, right back in. He's playing with his spacing so well. Excellent tech actually, because that forward and back movement is funky.
And what a punish counter. Good patience from Punk. He was waiting so long to get out of that corner, and it paid off tenfold, especially getting the punish counter. But this is even bigger. Space Boy, Beast Boy baby again.
No way. Okay, he could have killed.
Level 3 for sure. Oh, what? So that's one thing to check Punk's reaction. Getting away with a dash, that's one. Then backing up immediately for the backdash to get the punish counter on the throw, that is another thing. Yes, he could have done that the last time. Punk had gone for the neutral jump as a contention point, as a counter against that tactic.
It felt to me like Spaceboy was hunting for Punk right there, as if he thought that he could get the kill very closely, as if he thinks that Punk is worried. Yeah, I think that's the reason I'm getting right now about Spaceboy's play. He feels like this is the time to get the kill. Yeah, he's going in! A lot on the line for Punk right here.
No way! A little overzealous on the mark. 2 Punk. He's able to get a really, really significant punish counter. This is going to be a lot of damage. Obviously, the burnout is there, but Punk, with this much drive gauge left in the tank, while your opponent's at 0, you definitely can get a drive impact wall splat at this point. Yep, and he's already moving. He's schmoving. Yep, that's the one. Woo!
All right, buddy.
Woo!
Jeez.
He was looking at the endpoints to finish the first round.
He like went to the start screen to see what the fatality inputs are.
Perhaps, yeah. Cam is the only character I feel like that can do that animation-wise.
Yeah, she kind of does that with fatality. Man, look, again, there's a lot on the line for Punk, and I understand why Spaceboy felt like that was the round to get the kill, but now that that didn't happen, the question is, what does he change about his gameplay?
What interesting tidbit there. Causing jab counter hit into the perfect flash. Oh, that's huge. Oh! With an even bigger drop from Punk. What is happening?
It's not the first time that we've seen a big drop from him in his top 16s. I don't know, the 4th or 5th time, to be honest.
Oh. This counter is there, and also within range is the Fierce. I thought it was going to whip from that range, but no, sir. No level 1 usage. He maybe thought it wasn't going to kill.
Maybe.
You sneak in the guy attempt 2, and it's not far enough! There it is! No way! He did it again! Fireball and uppercut to ensure the damage on that bad boy. Spaceboy looking at match point with a lot of, actually both characters sitting at pretty much equal in super gauge.
Punk saw that there were some more whips coming out. Spaceboy shut it down immediately. Does not want to allow Punk to get these reads about what to do in neutral.
And now trying to get throw baits again against Punk. Yeah, himself back into the corner.
Forces this.
3 in a row?
Again there. Again. Fully burned. What a jump by Punk. Will he spend it all? Yes.
He absolutely has to. Equalize the playing field, the damage is there, the burnout is there as well. He's going to get his drive gauge before Spaceboy does, but it's just a matter of what he decides to do on offense dash up, and he's pretty aggressive with it! No way! Heavy to level 3, now he gets to change the swing. The damage is definitely in Spaceboy's favor. You're going to get a meaty setup, and you might get that drive gauge before Punk. With 0 bars, you could get a checkmate. No way!
Does Spaceboy eliminate Punk? Punk's still in. Oh, jumps away. All the decisions are so key right now. Anything will do it. He finds it. Can he get the kill? It's a little funky looking, but that's okay. And it is match point now for both.
I swear to you, if he did Eraser, the back heavy punch from Luke, as the low 4 was coming out, I would have yelled like a madman. It would have been all goofy.
One of them on the top 8 loser side. Punk's the one who starts the offense this time. That has been rare throughout the set. He hasn't typically been the person who's done it. As he is back again to hanging out a little bit patiently, maybe hoping to see Spaceboy overextend, but Spaceboy is just walking around. He's not giving into that urge yet.
He's given a couple of looks with the Sandblast, and surprisingly we haven't seen really any spin knuckle attempts, but it's been very difficult to call. This is a very fast fireball, by the way, so even trying to use that as a tactic is kind of tough.
Punk took his turn immediately. Here's Spaceboy. He has fought all the way to the corner. Not quite! As Punk is the one who finds the big hit, and now with a substantial life lead.
But that burnout is getting pretty close. Punk is backing away. No uppercut!
I can't believe it. He has been so consistent with anti-airs.
That's speedy as heck, but not going to reach any sort of advantage.
Big jump. It's not for a hit. Another chance. And again, Punk, as he has often been, is not the one to immediately engage on offense. He's back to neutral. Whip punishment.
Oh, that's huge. Okay. It's the back door as well. Punk gets a lot of estate behind him to move away from Spaceboy. Spaceboy's got to be explosive, but he's got to be now. But OD, Punk knew it, actually. Oh, my God! Punish counter conversion off of that?
15 on the clock, and it's enough as Punk finds it with jump. Roundhouse No delay in the sky. There was not a dive kick coming. Space Boy tried to get the jump back to contend with that. Instead, jump earliest roundhouse from Punk keeps him in the running for first place here at US Canada CPT.
I think it's safe to assume what was on Space Boy's mental stack at the moment. How often did you see these jumps go unpunished? Right? You had mentioned and highlighted a very significant fact about this early part. You see in the replays how offbeat some of Punk's dive kicks were and how much success he's had off of it. Then you start to see Space Boy get those big punishes off of it, right? So I think, more often than not, he's looking for the dive kicks too much to punish it on the ground rather than mid-air. So again, that's some pretty important moments for Space Boy, allowing Punk to fly off like that. And at the same time, though, the rebuttal from Punk has been superb. Yeah. Good awareness too, good spatial awareness, good game sense to even attempt for that sequence while having that drive gauge was huge, and also good game sense to even anticipate that flash knuckle coming in from Space Boy.
Yep, denied the easy pressure. But man,
see what I'm saying?
It was right down to the line there for both. It will be Punk. The Punk's in there. All right, one match remains. Idom has been fighting his way through loser's side for a while now. He was sent down there by Paladin before the top 16. And for Ramos is in the unfortunate position of having been at the top side of the bracket on winner's side and then having lost. And that means you got to wait the maximum amount of time for it to be your turn to play yet again. And now he's going to get that chance. We both liked some of what his Modern Chun did versus Knuckle Duo Guile. Obviously it wasn't enough, but he did have some strong stuff in there. And, by the way, I looked up his Street Fighter Cross Tekken Capcom Cup appearance where he played Vega Kami.
That's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, old friend of mine, had actually utilized that team. It's a very, really, really cheap team. His name is Mike, but that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's a pretty impressive thing to do, to make it all the way to Capcom Cup in that regard.
I mean, regardless of what game it is.
Still consistently, keeping it up with whatever life throws at you, right? That's been, I feel like, the main story for a lot of the East Coast players, right? There's been so many busy times and busy lives for some of these folks, but seeing Ramos again in a tough draw, being the first one to fall in a top 16, that means you have so much time to think about what's coming up
this
next.
Whole broadcast.
Do I play ranked? Do I sit in trade mode? Do I grab some carne asada?
You don't know who you're going to play against for a while either, right? It's not like you can necessarily game plan for who your opponent's going to be for a while.
You have some sort of route that you could possibly
That's
predict.
true. It's going to be one of two or three. That's or whatever it is. Yeah. No, that's true.
But at the same time, it's Idom. How do you prepare for Idom?
How
do you prepare for Manon?
Not easy. And especially for his style and his quality of Manon, it's just rare to see. So one of them will make the top 8. Man, if it's Idom, that means the first round of top 8 is going to be Punk versus Idom and loser's side.
If there's one attribute that Idom has to really attest to his gameplay, what attribute would that be?
I think his read's just not very good, in my opinion. It's just extremely difficult to know where he's going next. And that's true not just in the obvious, does he do command grab or hit, that kind of easy stuff, but it's also what he does in neutral. It's so hard to get a read on the buttons he's going to pick. I feel like that's part of why he makes Manon work when it comes to her footsies, which are DI-able and not the super best in the game, but he makes them work because you just don't know when any of them is coming.
I think it's really fair assessment, but man, what a usage of the lightning legs. I think I was just very fortunate for Ramos, just at the right place at the right time to anticipate something from Idom, whether it's a regular grab or command grab at that. Ramos just having the right instincts to do instant air lightning legs. Thank you, Mario. Oh, that's huge. That's a big opening. And that's something that Idom is not reluctant to use, something that's really, really unsafe, but it's a great poking tool for Mario.
You have to take risks with her. That is the name of the game. To be able to get a medal. Okay.
Speaking of risks.
Yeah.
We'll take that from Ramos.
What? Okay. Idom, of course, capitalizes on that. 3 medals.
I can't pretend to tell you. I don't even know what that could have been.
What was the idea? Yeah. Big jump. And probably for the round if he wants it. Yep.
Number 1, more than enough. Now, we talked about that jump arc could be a pretty big nuisance. She does pretty well, I feel like, in that regard against Fireball characters, being able to react and jump appropriately and get the better counters. That jump arc is very, very menacing. It's sharp. Her roundhouse makes it even faster.
That was cool.
Never seen that stutter before.
Hey. Makes it count with level 3 on deck. Oh, okay. Coming on that. Oh, let's see what he can get. Idom. Waking up in the corner.
The sweep again.
Willing to take the risk.
Buried
it.
Damn. And an appropriate punish counter. This guy, Ramos, is sick.
That was really good, the parry, yeah.
And that's a guess. That is a pure guess, by the way.
Not surprised to see the command grab there after what would have been a successful command grab if he had read that parry coming. We'll see. Almost backs off a little
What
bit.
a whiff punish and what a heavy normal to do it with. Jesus.
Just has such unusually strong footsies with the character. Like, you feel like she's a wall moving forward against you when it's Idom playing in a way that few other players can make work with her.
Gets Idom off of Ramos in the corner. It's going to be pretty huge with that side switch as well. So much estate for Chun-Li to work with. Being able to charge back and forth, get some fireballs going. And even be very deceptive as to what her range of attacks is going to be. That medium punch has gotten him so much in the past. And also low forward can be a really, really big game changer against Idom. Especially at this stage of the game at least.
Yeah,
trying to find the big opener.
Almost backs off. No, tries to go in. Immediately read by Idom.
And how often do you even see that from Ramos's repertoire? We haven't really seen drive reversals, let alone in this stage of the game. We don't really get to see it that much. But Idom having the appropriate read. The full
Really
punish.
nice confirm, in fact. Ooh, huge jump. Yeah.
That's all she wrote.
That is all she wrote. Nobody's singing right now, but that's going to cut it anyways. We're going to go into the final game between the two.
Bottom meter down below just shows you that Idom did not give any chances for Ramos. And I will say this, I think a couple of fortunate circumstances were a part of Idom's round, right? Like the preemptive jump against the fireball face. I don't think it was on reaction. There's the drive reversal, does find the mark at a very hefty price, I will say.
Dude,
how does
okay.
he know? What a beast.
Looking good. Oh, man. That was right on the edge.
Oh, very tricky. Got a level 3. Another counter hit stand jab from Ramos. Really picking and choosing his spots to press a button, but instead misses his opportunity for a meaty. Wasn't this the last time we've seen him kind of like fall short was against NuckleDu, where he wasn't really able to get some of these meaties going?
Yeah, his media pressure wasn't very strong, and he allowed for Du to wake up with buttons quite a number of times. Again, the neutral's looking good. He's got a chance for pressure. Tried it out. Oh, here it is. Forcing the situation more.
Nailed it.
Backing off, trying to be outside of that roundhouse range.
Oh.
Okay. Again, I don't feel like he needs to do it sometimes. I totally understand.
Oh, plenty of time for him to react. With a normal behind it, yes sir. Ramos
man.
and Idom both fully loaded, by the way. Level 3s on both ends, and also match point for both players now. Big whiff punish. Ramos thought he could get the handshake. No sir. Instead, he gets a trip to the corner.
Buried it into the corner right away, Ramos. Again, the meaty pressure is light, and again he challenges correctly defensively.
So sick.
There have been so many right choices defensively and in neutral. It's just the meaty pressure that hasn't really lived up to the rest. Slight lead, more of a lead now for Ramos, who, if he gets the next couple mix-ups right, is going to eliminate Idom. Idom's challenging.
The drive reversal again. Fireball to back to it. To back it up, excuse me. Fireball does find a mark again. Idom, he's only a sequence away from falling.
Jump! Oh, Idom on the ropes! Oh. Is he right? Yes!
Level 2. No command grab. Oh, he gave it away! He popped it! Idom is eliminated by Ramos! 2 big mishaps back to back! And it's Idom who pays the ultimate price. Ramos eliminates Idom 2-1. What is happening?
What a scramble at the end.
What actually happened?
that whole final round right there, I mean, a lot of it led up to that. You know, these great defensive choices that Ramos had, I'm sure inspired him to think that he was always going to make the right defensive decision, hence the EX wake up, right? And I think that makes sense. But IDOM had the right read and just didn't get the kill.
I'm still flabbergasted at what that sequence was. Wasn't he in Burnout? Wasn't IDOM in Burnout?
I don't remember, man. We'll see it shortly.
Whoo! What just happened, yo? Yo, I gotta really take the time to shout out Ramos's defensive decision making.
Yes.
He was playing like above and beyond 100% threshold. He was making all the right decisions. We talk about the reads that IDOM had. Let's talk about Ramos for a second.
Right.
His decision making behind those medium kick startups from IDOM has been phenomenal. What he does afterwards, what he does in between, it's all been the right call. And his drive reversals have been stupendous after that one mishap. It was just literally one mishap.
All right, what happened? He just screwed it up, right? Yeah. Well,
I can't even imagine
there you
tell you
go.
what that was. He had no meter behind it. There was nothing left behind it. He was burnt out.
That is a tough way to go out for IDOM. Again, eliminated from the CPT US Canada East. There is but one chance remaining to make it into Capcom Cup, and that's at the LCQ, where there will be a host of killers, unlike anything else that we've seen this year. That's going to be a tough one. It's Ramos who makes it into the top 8.
How often have we seen that scenario happen between, okay, well, not the gameplay, but like having the person who had fallen short from the top? I feel like these last couple of CPTs, the person who had fallen short in the very first round has not really made it out into top 8.
It's rare. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. And I think part of that is that it is a difficult position to be in to kind of, you know, you're playing at the start, then you have this, honestly, 2 hour plus time where you are iced a little bit, and Ramos nevertheless played it well. All right, well, geez. Looking like pretty good stuff here, as we'll talk about our top 8 in a little bit. This is the second to last of the Capcom Cup qualifiers. Check it out. Next week, US, Canada, Midwest. Registration, open for that still, but we'll be closing shortly. And then after that, as I mentioned, your very last chance to get into the Capcom Cup will be at the LCQ next month, February 16th to 18th. Then the week after that is going to be group stage, and then ultimately the finals of Capcom Cup 10.
It's coming up real soon. Again, that registration is going to be closing for next week's CPT. It's going to be happening this Monday, the 15th, closing at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please do yourselves a favor. If you're watching and you're from that area, hey, go to StarGG, go to Capcom Pro Tour. Be sure to do it now as we are speaking, because in just a little bit we have the Chipotle Unwrapped segment. But before we do that, talk about a big partner that has been coming up these last couple of CPTs. I'm talking about Maskaway with their big collectibles, and it's I will say big because this detail on these action figures have been so damn intricate and so interesting to see. Actually, I love the different types of outfits, the different colorways, even Shinakuma hiding over on the left. I see you. Most people will say that's a colorway so-and-so from 5. No, that's Shinakuma, buddy. But just in case you guys haven't noticed, Storm Collectibles, they brought back a lot of the classics and iconic gaming characters back to life with their very, very high quality collectible action figures. Be sure to check out Street Fighter figures on their website using that QR code on the top right, or by going to stormco.com.hk. And look at the grin on this guy's face. Luke, he's just happy to be here. Ryu, he's seen it all before. Blanca and Fei Long, however, it's their older selves. But fact of the matter is, these things are so sick to look at. Again, stormco.com.hk. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we have our Chipotle Unwrapped segment where we get to the nitty-gritty of what happened in our top 16 to get you prepared for our top 8. Don't miss it, especially with what just happened. We're going to talk about that in detail after this.
You're really making all of this by hand.
Oh yeah. The avocados are hand mashed, the chips are hand tossed, and everything is made fresh.
You make it fresh every day?
Yes, every day. The Chipotle way is we make it fresh every day.
Sounds delicious.
I want you to take care of my
Time to work, time to work. When inhaled, coriamyrtin blocks the gamma-aminobutyric acid receptors in the central nervous system, causing spasmodic muscle contractions. Master, it's a work of art! It's perfect! What to do with you now? So, shall we put him out of his misery? Time for some experimentation. I bet poison would work wonders on you. I wouldn't move if I were you. Poison's on the menu. I'm finished with you. I have you. It's over. My own death. Let's do now. Here, there, then here, and my magnum opus. Is my poison kicking in?
Street Fighter 6.
Objection!
No, playing with it toes. Are you mad at me, little girl? No? Crazy girl.
Aha! I knew you'd stick around for Chipotle Unwrapped, our recap of the top 16.
It was
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
Man. Oh, okay.
Street Fighter tournament.
Thanks a lot for sticking around with us, everybody. That was quite a top 16 for the U.S. Canada East. We now know who will make it into the top 8 tomorrow, and we know who has not. And even before the top 16 began, it was already an interesting set of results. Of course, as we saw, some of the players who were in losers were not players who we would have thought would be in losers. Players who, in fact, reasonable to think would be in grand finals tomorrow, right? Instead, it's not like that. So let's go back and check out
Well, I mean,
some of those results. We'll talk
player.
through some of the matchups, what we thought was
But
interesting, what we liked. Of course, when it comes to things starting out, if you look at this, who was in top 16 winner side, it wasn't Punk and it wasn't IDOM. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But it was Dew. It was NuckleDew, who has had, man, just consistent, very strong success when it comes to all of our huge majors weekly events out in the FGC, where oftentimes 100 to 500 competitors.
Sure.
Not uncommon. And yet Dew is very consistently among the best at them. Well, this weekend, same thing. 2-1 though over Ramos, who did have some strong stuff. Banana Ken is going to be on the other side in top 8. His JP for me is always a blast to watch. I really enjoy some of his decision making with the character. His use of amnesia is a little bit different than many other players. His defensive awareness with it, I think, is awesome, and you, in fact, did see that in that match.
Oh, especially towards the end of it, that big highlight reel of using OD amnesia to mark a big old stamp against Spaceboy. Somebody had mentioned it earlier. There was a big life lead that Spaceboy had against Banana Ken, and he still decided to pursue offense on it. I think what you do under pressure as a JP player really is what separates you from being just a JP player to a great JP player.
And Banana Ken certainly is that. Then we saw Najee take it over Psycho, who had sent Punk down to losers. We saw Paladin over Alex Smith. 16-year-old Ryu player, Paladin.
He's so good.
Yeah, really. Like, again, I kind of think that Ryu's a bit underrated. I'm not going to tell you I think he's one of the best in the game, but I do think that he's a little underrated personally. He's just got interesting, different options than many other characters do. Some different timings, some different spaces where he can control than some other characters. Paladin made that look great.
It's so refreshing to see. It's not even just seeing a brand new character. Not brand new, excuse me. Not seeing a character that's like underused in the realm of both ranked and seen in a tournament setting. But the way he navigated that character was so refreshing to see. There were certain hits, certain sequences, and like offensive sequences that I couldn't even guess what's coming up next. And I think that's really important for any player to really put under their belt. And it's so hard to even try to find that style for yourself because majority of the time, it's like a get-rich-quick scheme when it comes to like a brand new game. It's like, let me X-copy somebody and like whatever yields the fastest results. And then you kind of get like stuck in your box of like ideas. But this guy, I got to say, both like, I think Paladin and Ramos do a really great job of like thinking outside the box.
I think you definitely saw that. And then in loser's side, when we get down there, Flux Waves over Adrian NY at the beginning of things. We saw Kami and Samij, which was a very close back and forth match.
That defense was phenomenal.
One of the closest that we had of the day for sure. Then we saw Punk, and even though it says 2-0 right there, if you didn't get a chance to see that, I do recommend checking it out. Max Sama played a really great Marissa in that. Punk obviously ended up winning, but we both really liked a lot of what we saw out of Max Sama as well.
Dude, if I were like blindfolded to like the names before the games had even come up, I would have assumed that was Angry Bird, or sorry, Big Bird. I genuinely thought he was playing like at a world-class level. There was not a lot of mistakes he made, if seldom any. I think there was a lot of sequences that were very educated in not only just the matchup, but also against the player.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally with you. Then we saw Idom move on over Mando. Then we saw in that qualifying round, Flux Waves pretty strongly over Alex Smith, which was a run back, so shout-outs to Flux Waves for getting that. Alex Smith had sent him down to losers. Then we saw Kami versus Psycho, where, again, man, Kami's defense throughout this top 16 was stellar. And in that, had some great decisions again. We saw Punk over Space Boy, but not without some serious trials and tribulations. That was, again, very close. Really could have gone either way. Absolutely could have been Space Boy over Punk in this top 8. And then at the end, Ramos over Idom.
Man, I'm gonna leave my chip in this dip.
Quite a match right there. I mean,
what happened?
Right.
What actually happened? Right. I really have to go to Idom's stream later and check the VODs out because that is not a normal circumstance for him to drop something so significant.
Like set winning combo.
He didn't have
top
meter.
8 making combo.
We were immediately after the broadcast or like into the break. David and I were thinking to ourselves like, there's no other way to like do extra damage off of that ender other than having meter, which he didn't. You saw the command grab come out from Idom.
The like hit grab.
He didn't even have super under him either, right? So that was, I don't know. I'm totally
like it all came down to that moment, of course, the moment where Idom seemed like he could have gotten the kill, or at least not put himself into a punishable situation. But even before that, very interesting match, very back and forth.
And it was a phenomenal read from Idom to assume the bust that was coming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like
That's
Ramos hasn't really done anything that risky.
We hadn't seen EX
in the
wake up.
entirety of his matchups, right?
Yeah.
Both against NuckleDu as well as in IDOM. Seeing that last bit of moment, you think to yourself, it's like, man, I think like nine times out of 10, each and every one of you would have been like, I think that was a fair bust out. I think that was a fair OD in the
Even
context
though it didn't
of
work,
what
I think it
happened.
made sense.
It
I thought it
did.
was understandable.
Totally.
Anyway.
And it still paid off for him. That's, man.
Right, kind of did.
I don't
Yeah,
remember this
it
shit.
kind of did. All
Crazy.
right, well, that's their top 8. Or who made it in the top 8. Let's talk about that top 8. Boop. There it is. On the winner's side, NuckleDu versus Bananakin. That could be grand finals anywhere. Naji versus Paladin. That's going to be a blast to watch as we continue to see teenage Ryu players have success. Of course, we saw Ending Walker qualify for Capcom Cup from World Warrior in the UK, largely with Ryu, not exclusively. Man has a DJ, but largely with Ryu. And then in loser's side, Ramos versus Punk and Kami versus Fluxwave. So matches that you could see in, again, any deep part of a top 8 are happening in round 1 of top 8 in this event.
So many different routes to choose from. Like what can transpire from who falls down below from the winner's side, like Bananakin versus the winner of Kami and Flux Waves, or even NuckleDu. Then Naji, the same kind of story. Ramos and Punk, they've all played. I mean, like I know there's a lot of history between all of these players. I think out of this roster of top 8, 2 players really stick out to me, and that's clearly Paladin and Ramos as being like the names that I haven't really been able to see as often. Right? If you were to watch like NLBC, if you were to watch like TNS, you watch Can Opener, you watch ICFC, you'll see all of these names pretty often, with the exception of those 2.
It's true, but very, very cool to see as a result. So that will be tomorrow. It's going to be all 3 out of 5 matches, as we always do here in the CPT top 8s. You know, it's not necessarily the top 8 that I think a lot of us thought we were going to see coming into this thing.
I still can't believe it happened the way it did.
Right?
Truly.
You know, I feel for the players who didn't make it, but I'm also really excited and happy for the players who did make it, because it's a really cool opportunity for them. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.
I mean, that's about as good as it's going to get, to be honest with you. I'm not going to add on too much, except for we appreciate your guys' time this weekend. I know there's so much going on in the realm of fighting games. I know we have other commentators throwing it down for other games, but I'm glad you guys decided to stick it out with us for this special moment in time. The Capcom Pro Tour has concluded their top 16, but we got top 8 coming up tomorrow, same time, same channel. You already know what it is. And again, please, if you are part of the Midwest, just please sign up, because this is the last one. This is the big hurrah before the last chance qualifier. In the meantime, David and myself are probably going to go to Chipotle after this. We'll see you guys all for tomorrow's top 8. Take care.
Let's see what happens here. And again, like you said, dude, when you win like that, I mean, I wonder if he popped off, you know? Like, I wonder if he was just like, "Go, let's go!" And
I would
now,
love to hear that.
And now he's just completely raring to go here in this matchup. And again, stoicism right here displayed by both players. Not even a change of the emote. Here we go. Otani immediately goes in there, and Kuano sending a message. Dude, these two are sending messages like back and forth right now. Oh boy. All right, Kuano says, "Look, you know what? I don't care how it's cold."
Oh, he tried to go for the tick throw, but Otani actually got hit by the jump leg kick at Kuano. Too much advantage on that.
Wow, interesting. Gonna spend the level 1 here to try to get some damage, but
this guy's a nut.
Kuano, I mean, I think what Kuano is trying to do right now, and this is actually a really smart tactic from him. I would, you know, before the coming into this, I wanted to say Kuano's been playing very careful, very, you know, measured, and, you know, footsies, and now he starts off this first round by going absolutely crazy. Because Otani's probably coming in here thinking similar to what I was, right? Like, oh, he's going to be caught.
File 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at TurboTax.com. That's me!
Second half, that fierce to clash, forward throw now. Look at the damage on that. Do it again.
Yeah, it was a hard knockdown last time, so no back roll, and so he was able just to go for the throw loop mid-screen. Oh, okay, here we go, beast mode. Whoop. Not gonna be enough to kill, though.
I like that. I like that a lot. A little taste of Kuano's medicine.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it. And that might be a little bit of Otani still kind of feeling himself after that Akira match right there. Just drive rush all you want. I'm just going to DP you right out of it. And look at this. He gets the neutral war right there with the Crouching Strong. And yeah, smart. That's 3 versus 2 right there and keeps Kuano in the corner. But
that's the great crouch medium punch buffer into the medium knuckle to land and secure that level 3.
And the burnout as well, because Otani had been spending all that meter. Yeah. Oh, he got him. He got him. He got him.
It wasn't anything like super significant, but I'm glad it worked out for the first time. That's all it was. He's aimed for that at least 3 times, and 3 times and got stuffed every time. But yeah, Kuano, he's gonna make short work of this. Has plenty of drive gauge left, just enough to make that trip into the next game. Game 1 going towards Kuano.
Right. That just means Kuano is 2 games away right now. 2 games away.
Just caught the
God, that reaches too.
Yeah, tough startup of the Stand Blast as well. Otani not really able to stop any of the drive rushes now, at least. Or the first one of potentially many, excuse me.
That was perfect parry there, but didn't go for anything right away. Try to sneak in with that drive rush suppressor again.
Big stop sign for the medium kick.
Oh no, wasn't ready for that one. Just got caught by the raw drive rush.
Who's waiting for that? Forward throw. Punish counter, by the way. Auto damage.